Detective Gumshoe said they had an investigation briefing. Yeah. Oh, he's back!
Hey, so you came, pal?
Why the blunt greeting?
Because there's nothing to be friendly or happy about.
What do you mean by that?
Well, things look perfect this time around. The evidence and testimony are airtight.
But, we can't just roll over and die. We have to stay positive. So what do you mean by the evidence is airtight?
I can't give you all the details, pal, but there's two big pieces.
Two?
And both of them are in this photo. The first is the button that's missing from the victim's chest.
That's the button you found during your body search of Mr. Ongard.
Yep, I found it in the folds of the Nickel Samurai's special pants.
And the second one is?
The knife in his chest, pal. The fingerprints on the knife in his chest, to be exact.
Fingerprints? Whose are they?
You didn't even have to ask, little missy. It's obvious. They're Matt Ongard's.
Tomorrow's trial. Talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place. So what about this airtight testimony?
It's that old security lady, Miss Oldbag.
I thought so.
What do you mean, you thought so? Did she tell you something, pal?
Well...
I even told her not to open that mouth of hers and blab to anyone.
Her blab knob is stuck on 10, and there's no turning it down, trust me.
Yeah, well, Miss Oldbag saw it all, pal. She saw Mr. Ongard come out of the victim's room around the estimated time of death.
No way!
We're pretty interested in that bit of gossip ourselves.
A scandal with Mr. Korda? But why?
Well, 2 years ago, a woman committed suicide.
Suicide?
Her name was Celeste Impax. And she was Juan Corrida's manager.
The victim's manager?
But that's not all, pal. Miss Impax was Adrian Andrews' mentor. She taught Miss Andrews everything she knew about the business from square one.
Her mentor? A woman who was both Mr. Korda's manager and Miss Andrews' mentor. Could her suicide have something to do with this case?
You want to know more about her, pal? She was the victim's manager, and was also Miss Adrian Andrews' mentor. It's been 2 years since her suicide, and now those two are linked again by another death. Or maybe it's just a coincidence, but— OW!
I'm getting sick of dealing with one foolish idiot after another. Miss Von Karma! You can't seem to stop allying yourself with the enemy, can you? I don't need a traitor in my midst. You don't mean... I do. Scruffy? You have 30 minutes to get out of here. You are no longer needed. Goodbye. That's...
Wait! Please wait, sir!
If I don't get this quiet! If it weren't for traitors like you, I would have won. Is that what you want to say? Who? That voice. Edgeworth! It's been a long time, right? This person! This is Mr. Edgeworth?
What am I going to do? Still blaming others when things go wrong. You haven't changed a bit, Francisca.
You! How dare you show your face to me without a shred of shame upon it? You've soiled the Von Karma name, dragged it through the mud. You even ran away with your tail between your legs, like the ill-bred dog you are.
Are you talking about the Von Karma family creed? To be perfect in every way? Then let's hear it, Francisca. How are things going? I hear you are having a rough time maintaining perfection in this country.
You
seem to be getting crushed under the weight of it all. That's why I came back.
Keep your assumptions to yourself. I haven't given in yet. I won't lose. This case is mine. I'll never hand it over to you. Never. Mr. Phoenix, right? I will see you tomorrow. In court. It will be a clinical lesson on the meaning of total victory.
Still the same wild mare she always was. I thought you, the prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, had gone and died.
Mr. Nick!
I never wanted to see you again. I think that's enough of a warm welcome for someone you haven't seen in a year. Are you going to run tomorrow's trial? You heard her, right? The wild mare hasn't given in yet, it seems. So no, I don't think I'll be making an appearance. Your hatred for me is quite unhealthy, not to mention one-sided. But I will say one thing. You can't win on your own at the trial tomorrow.
What is that supposed to mean?
I have something definitive that you lack. And working together is the definition of teamwork. It's the power to find the truth. The truth? In order to understand this case, you have to understand a certain truth. Well, if you ever feel the need for my assistance, it is available to you. I'm not in charge of this case, so I can be a bit more generous with information.
Just what is going on inside his head?
A lot of things may have happened, however Manfred von Karma was still my mentor. And a perfect win record is proof of a von Karma. 1 year ago, you could not establish guilt in a few cases. Are those losses the reason you suddenly disappeared from the prosecutor's office? Did you leave because you had lost your perfect win record? To think your motivation for prosecuting trials was so selfish. It'd been better for everyone if you had never came back from the dead, Edgeworth. I see. Then let me ask you something. Why do you stand in the courtroom? What's your reason? Well, with Francisca, she almost always says, I will defeat you this time, the instant she sees me. But the courtroom is not a personal battlefield for prosecutors and lawyers. I stand in the courtroom to defend my client. To save their lives. To save your client, you say. Those who think only of their own ego-driven goals? Those kinds of prosecutors are reprehensible to me. Even if you're a prodigy. Or someone like you, Edgeworth. It looks like there's still a lot you have yet to learn.
A lot I've yet to learn? Me? Well, that's enough for now. The time when you will see is coming soon enough. This woman is another key to solving this case. Do you really think so? She was Adrian Andrews' mentor a long time ago. But she was suddenly called away by a different show and became Juan Corrida's manager. And then, a few months later, Celeste Impax died. But her death was ruled a suicide, right? Yes. But there's still one riddle we've yet to solve. Riddle? Her suicide note. It went missing. No one could find it. A suicide note that just vanished? Huh. Miss Impact's death was most certainly a suicide. Of that there is no mistake. However, we could not find her suicide note. That's when the police began to suspect that someone had hidden it. The suicide note? But how do you know Miss Impact had even written such a note? There was no solid evidence, however. We did find traces of ink on her right index finger, which makes the likelihood of a suicide note very high. But who would hide such a thing? The police think it was Mr. Juan Corrida himself. The victim? He was the one who found her body, which makes him the only person who had the chance to hide her suicide note. Mr. Corrida hid his own manager's suicide note? But why? As long as her note is missing, any speculation beyond this is meaningless. For now, I think you should look this over. This is the suicide report. Part 1, anyway. Part 1? I don't like to look through reports. I like suicide reports even less. Worst of all are the reports that have multiple parts like that one. That has 2. 2 parts? What you just handed me is the first part of the report. Here's the second part. The second part of the report is about an attempted suicide. The attempter's name... It's Adrian Andrews! Miss Andrews? What did she do? She tried to kill herself. She doesn't seem like the kind of person to try and kill herself, though. You think she's a strong career woman? That's just what she wants you to think. Adrian Andrews. She has a certain secret she's always trying to hide. A secret? Her dependent nature. That's what she's really like on the inside. Miss Andrews? Dependent? Talk about the exact opposite of what that woman is. What's this about Miss Andrews having a dependent nature? Adrian Andrews' attempt at suicide was a few days after the death of Celeste Impax. And why did Adrian Andrews think about committing suicide? Because she had apparently lost her will to live. Lost her will? But why would she... Her pillar of strength, Her mentor, Celeste Impax, was gone forever. That's why. Why would that... Is this what they call following someone to the grave? After her attempted suicide, Adrian Andrews started attending counseling sessions. She is someone who needs a person in whom she can trust absolutely. And once she finds that person, she'll do anything she can to keep them near. Without such an anchor in her life, her crippling anxiety stifles her ability to live. And that's the nature of her dependency on others. When Celeste Impax suddenly committed suicide, the world before her turned pitch dark. That's according to Adrian Andrews herself. Then, that means her super confident attitude, it's all a facade. She's only copying her mentor's behavior to hold herself together. How terrible.